Somebody tell me a win from last week. Somebody tell me something good that happened last week in their business. Anybody. Any words will do.
Oh, I had a really positive Zillow review.
Yeah? From who?
From the Hawks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked your post. Yes, you like made it look really pretty and then you put it out to the world.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Yes, it was really, really nice. I think that's my favorite Zillow review yet. And then I posted as well, like, how we can also leave reviews for, like, the people that are out of work, like the people who do our hair, like the people who, like, do our nails or whatever.
Oh, that's a really, really good idea, Jess.
This time, you know what I mean? And then I, like, put like a little winky face in there. You can also leave a review for your real estate agent. Like, if you're looking for something to do, we can be doing reviews for other people, you know?
Oh my goodness, Jess, you just stumbled onto some gold. I think that is fantastic. If we get together, like each of us put together a post, you know, whether that be Instagram stories, Instagram feed, Facebook or whatever, and outline like what it is you're trying to do. So like in this time, like one way that you can support local small businesses is to go onto Google, Facebook, or their Yelp and leave like positive reviews for them and spend an hour, you know, each week or something like that, picking 5 to 10 of your favorite local small businesses and leave them good positive reviews.
Yeah, so that was the idea. So I said, if you're looking for something to do, you can be leaving reviews for these people that are out of work right now. So I left a review for my hairstylist last week and then posted that.
That's really, really good. Good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
One of the things I saw yesterday, and I'm trying to figure out how to piece it in as content for the week, is that someone said like to reach out to, if you have a friend that's like a bartender and they make like a specialty drink, like do like a Zoom call with them while they like make their specialty drink with them or something like that. Because if they're like, I can't remember if they're like out of work, it gets them more exposure. Now, I don't necessarily know if that means that it helps them get work later. So I don't necessarily know, but there's something like that where it's like your specialty, like your hairstylist and your people, kind of like what you're saying, bring them on for like an Instagram live or a Zoom call and let them show off what they do almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's something there and I'm trying to figure out exactly like how to, like for hairstylists, I don't know how you would do it, but like if they could like do a hairstyle or something now, but if they're in quarantine, like I don't know how they would do it.
Yeah.
If they have like a wig or a doll or something, I don't know, or another person, but.
Yeah, it's also another technique for stylists, because I was a stylist, is more like do it yourself, you know, like because a lot of people are struggling to get their maintenance done, like nails or like their hair, and they're like, okay, and they'll create content where they're like, okay, this is what you can do temporary to do it yourself, but that's like providing value.
Oh, for sure. And then the way we can provide value is to bring them on with us. Because obviously, like, we're real estate experts. We're not here to teach people how to do hair, but they are, and we can bring them into our sphere to let them share what they do. That's a really good idea.
Totally. There's a link out there too for the service industry. It's something like every time you have a drink when you're at your house, like every time you make yourself a meal, you can tip someone through the service industry who has like signed up via this link via Venmo. So it goes like on rotation. It's super random, and then someone gets selected. So I can share that link with you guys if you want.
Do it. Yeah, share it. I mean, I think that's good content to share. That's the type of messaging, because we talked about this last week. Obviously, last week was like we talked about the lack of content going out, but I think it's more than anything, it's the type of content that's going out. So like, and so I think week one, if you think back to like our messaging and what it's been, week one was kind of like circling the wagons. Like we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how long we were going to be out. And so like my message to you was like, do not be selling anything. And you should be, but also don't disappear. Like the people that are active now are the ones who are going to win. But your messaging has to change completely. Like there should be no right hooks, as we call them. There should be no what's your home worth. There should be no that type of stuff. It should be, how can I help you get your groceries? Or here's a local small business that we're supporting, or any of the ideas we just talked about right now. And so that's a perfect way to do that, like either bring someone on, you're just adding value, but you're not necessarily talking real estate at all. And then last week, that was week 1. Week 2, I put into the thing, the messaging was that you should be putting out a video to your sphere talking about the change to essential businesses, because we're now an essential business. So people need to know that we can show property. Now, that being said, we're just mixing in the word that we're essential businesses and we can show property, but we're not asking for the business still. We're just letting people know that we're still here, help, support small businesses. By the way, we can also show property if you're interested. We realize you're probably not interested. Well, now we're on to week 3, right, of this quarantine situation. So like one of the things that I'm trying to, almost like mixing a cake, I'm trying to layer in now is like market stats and market updates, but without it being salesy, right? So everything from week 1 still pertains. I'm still doing local small business updates. I'm still offering my services and just kind of like being present, but not necessarily selling. Secondarily, now I'm also going to try to talk real estate, because if we go back to the initial thing, it's not a fucking snow day, right? We're still working. In fact, these 90 days in quarter 2, these are probably going to set us up for the rest. This could be career defining 90 days right now. Right. Like we're obviously April 30th is the end date, but I have a couple of friends that are on the governor's calls and stuff like that. Like, I don't necessarily think it's going to be back to normal even on April 30th. We've even said that even if we're like allowed to go outside, it doesn't mean people are going to like feel good about going outside. You know what I mean? So that being said, this quarter specifically is the exact reset we need to reshape our business for the next 2 quarters and beyond. And so that being said, like, we're the real estate experts, so we should be providing real estate information. But the trick is like, how do you do that without being salesy, right, Jaqueline? We always talk about that. And so I think like what I've tried to do is like starting today, I'm actually going to do a Facebook Live at 2:00, and I've just posted it on Instagram to collect the questions. I've already got like 3 or 4 questions. I'm sure I'll have like 5 to 10 questions by the time it's ready. And I'll be able to answer questions, but they're questions that people ask. And so I'm just putting out the content, but it's not like me saying, hey, it's a great time to buy or it's a great time to sell. Like, that's tone deaf.
Totally.
And if you put that messaging out, that's really, really tone deaf, and you're going to lose more customers than you're going to gain. The point is that I have people asking me these questions, so I'm going to put out those answers in a Facebook Live type format and then repurpose it, put it on Instagram TV and YouTube. But I'm now being able to, but my outbound messaging is still, how can I help local small businesses? But I'm being able to mix in once or twice a week the real estate related stuff too, because there are still people in your sphere that are looking to buy or sell. But how do you stay present, top of mind with new content and answer their questions?
Yeah.
Or like, there's just a lot of people that are curious, about the market, because they're like, oh, how does it look now? How's the real estate market?
Totally. 100%.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people who were on the fence for the last 2 years, waiting for the big crash or waiting for the dip. And so those people may be more interested to buy right now because interest rates are still really low. And if there's inventory, they may be off the fence now, right? So it's not necessarily, you don't want to just neglect everybody, but at the same time, it has to be the like third down on your totem pole of messaging. Otherwise you're going to come off as really tone deaf. New book, Fear is Failure. Has anybody listened to Steve Scholl's call?
I tried calling.
I just sent it this morning. So what's that, Kim?
I tried calling, but the number didn't go through.
It's the one touch number I sent you.
Yeah.
So you hit that, and then it'll dial it, and then it'll actually enter the meeting ID for you.
Yeah.
And then when it says participant ID, you just hit pound.
Yeah, that doesn't work. So I tried both ways. I tried where I copied and I did the whole one touch, and then I tried where I just called the number and I'll manually input, but like the number itself doesn't work.
Okay, maybe I sent you the wrong number then. I'll go back and I'll check it and send it tomorrow. The book I'm sending everybody, and that's why I need your home address or where you want me to send this, because I have everybody else's. Cool. But the book is Fear is Failure, and basically he's starting to kind of go through it on his 8 o'clock call. Jaqueline, can you mute? I think I got
sorry.
that.
I don't know how to mute this. Can you mute
me? It's all right. Yep. Gotcha. Okay, so it's called Fear is Failure, and basically it's talking about identifying what your biggest fear is. And if you think about it from an angle of like what could go wrong, and then taking it straight on, right? And generally what we fear the most and like the most apocalyptic scenario doesn't happen. It very rarely happens that way. But if you can grasp what that fear is and you can face it head on and plan for it, then when whatever does happens, it's not going to be as bad as we think. And so I thought it was a really good, I sent out the link. I'll send it out again, because if anybody wants to listen into that 8 a.m. call, I think it's a really good reset for the next 90 days. He's going through a 12-week kind of process on how to, Jack, we talked about this last week a little bit, but if you were starting today from scratch with a brand new business and your plan was to launch July 1st with a new real estate business, what would you be doing for the next 90 days in order to prep for that? And that's kind of, so like week 1 is about your mindset. Week 2, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like time blocking and things like that. So where the point is, so that by week 12, you have an established, you're in the right mindset, you have the systems in place, and now you can hit the ground running.
Gotcha. That's cool.
So,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So I'm sending out the book, Fear is Failure. That's going to be our April book. And that's the book that the entire reset course is kind of cornerstoned on. And so most of you, it's sent to everybody except for Jack right now. So I'm going to send Jack today.
I'll get you that address today.
Perfect. Thank you. Number 3 thing I wanted to talk about was the CARES Act. So that's the stimulus package that was passed. I don't know if everybody's read in. So Kristen, the CFO for Compass, put a workplace post out and some other stuff that that details out like how real estate agents can like partake in this if it applies to us. There's 3 different, I just wanted to touch on it on a high level. So there's 3 different layers to this. One is the stimulus check that just goes out to everybody, right? And so it's everybody making, I think it's under 75 grand gets X amount, and then under 100 grand gets X amount. And it's based on your most recently filed taxes. So if you haven't done your 2019 taxes yet, then it'll go to your 2018 taxes. And so depending on what you put as your adjusted gross income up for 2018 or 19, you'll basically just get a check in the mail. That's the first thing, $1,200 per person, and then $500 per kid. So secondarily, there's the SBA PPP, which is the payroll protection plan. That's only if you have people on your payroll. So like, depending on how your company was set up, like as an S Corp, and then I pay myself through, there's one person on my payroll per se. So like I can theoretically, and commissions are included, I could fill out an application for an SBA loan in order to continue my payroll through this thing. But it's only for small businesses that have people on payroll. Now there's a second layer, I believe that goes April 10th, that includes sole proprietors, not corporations, but I think it's still the same situation. I think it's just for people on payroll. And then third is unemployment. So unemployment's never been for real estate agents, really, because it's not for independent contractors. They opened up the California unemployment to include self-employed and independent contractors on there. And I think they upped the money from $450 to $600 a week or whatever it is. So that being said, it's kind of a gray area if real estate agents, and I'm just explaining the information. I don't know necessarily how to do it, but it's a gray area from what I've heard is if real estate agents can go onto it, because when you go to unemployment, you have to certify each week that you're looking for employment. And so as real estate agents, technically, like we're always unemployed as independent contractors. So unless you're certifying each week that you're out looking for a job, you're kind of skirting the system of unemployment, you see? And so I don't know that at the heart of it, that's necessarily meant for real estate agents. And then secondarily, I think that counts when we were considered non-essential businesses, because we weren't allowed to go out and do our job. But now that we're technically classified as essential businesses, I wouldn't see that real estate agents would be able to ask for unemployment, because technically we can work. So, you know what I mean? It's not like unemployment. So there's 2 things working against real estate agents in the sake of California unemployment. One is that we're an essential business, and 2 is that we're not actively looking for employment if we're just working our real estate job. You know what I mean? So anyways, when it comes to that first level of the $2 trillion stimulus, those are the 3 things that may or may not come into play for real estate agents. So I just wanted to make sure that it was kind of clear. Does anybody have any questions on that?
No, that's helpful to know though.
Okay, good. the last thing I wanted to talk about was necessarily, it kind of goes back to the Steve Schultz thing, but I want to make sure that everybody is actually time blocking out their days. I think it's really, really important. So like this is my morning. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but basically what I try to do, I found it probably about 2 weeks ago, or maybe about 3 weeks ago now. There was a day and I woke up at like 8:30 and like Jet had already gone down for his first nap. And I was like, shit, like it's really easy to lose your sense of like your time blocking in this time. And the most important thing that you can possibly do is actually the night before or the morning of, like, I really prefer it the night before, is sit down, plan out your to-do list and put it onto your calendar for the next day. And so after that day, I woke up at 8:30. I was like, shoot, I can't fall out of my groove. And I've been waking up at 6:30, between 6:30 and 7 now every single day. I set my alarm for 6:45 just in case, but because Jet wakes up at 7 and I want to have my coffee right before he wakes up, you know, we feed him. And then that'll gives me a couple minutes to sit down, map out my to-do list and put it onto the calendar and time block it. Again, it goes back to like this 90 days can literally shape our entire next 10 years of business. It's definitely going to shape our next 2 quarters of business. It's not a snow day. Like this is not time. This is just us working from home. But the first word in working from home is working. Right. And so it's like, if we don't time block out our day, our money making activities, contacting our 20 to 25 clients or whatever it may be, whether it be through call, text, or email, scheduling out your weekly emails or, you know, your newsletter type emails through either Curator or Compass, and then planning out your content for the day. What are we doing all day? And that's been the most important thing. Like, again, I did this for today. Basically, I did my entire to-do list. And then on the right, I have a box that says content. Did I post on IG today, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter? You know what I mean? And like, and then if you're really, really into it, you can actually think out, what am I going to post on those things? You can think ahead a day or two. Like, what do my posts look like? I just think it's really, really important to not get too caught up with the for home part and remember that we're working part. It's really, really important that we don't lose that sense of structure, and that starts with time blocking. Mm-hmm. Has anybody been like successfully or doing something or have a tip for that?
I mean, I can piggyback on that, saying like, I definitely had to check myself this last week. Like, well, 2 weeks ago, really, like at what time was I actually going to bed? Like my hours like completely shifted.
Yeah.
So I had to like really restructure just my days in general. Yeah, because it kind of felt like an elongated like sense of just being at home, like a day off, like a really long day off, and it's not. So last week I definitely structured that to find like a new like normalcy in my days, and like still post and like still try to add value and like still try to like be present to clients in the best sort of like messaging that we can do right now, you know what I mean, and conduct business as usual in a new usual in a way, if that makes sense. Yeah,
no, that's good. And that's the thing, is it's not necessarily, so our days, I don't know, I feel like our days for the last 10 years have been very much, you know, wake up at a certain time in the morning and then, you know, get your workout in, or, you know, then you're at the office by 9 or 8:30, or if you have an appointment and you get your coffee and you go to the office. That might not necessarily be the structure of your day anymore. Like, it's not saying that your most productive time might be from 11 to 4. Yeah. The point isn't necessarily to do it like we did it at the office. The point was to make sure you get everything into your day like you would in a normal day. And so, like, if you look back to like, and Steve hasn't even gotten into it yet, but I've been coaching with him for long enough to know his time blocking thing is that when you set your schedule for the week, first thing you do is you take out your personal time, or, you know what I mean? Or your vacation time. Like if you're not working, block off your days off, right? Secondarily, you put your personal time. Do you have to pick up your kids at 3 from school? Or do you have to go to the Zumba class at 12 or whatever your personal things that from your goal setting that you have to do that day, put those in. And then next is your prospecting time. And then lastly would be in this case, it would be like your content production and or distribution, or that's where you would put in your going on showings. You would leave like blocks open for going on showings or listing appointments. Now that's a little bit different now, but basically like that might not be first thing in the morning, second thing, third thing. That might be all in the afternoon or in the evening or whatever. Just make sure that you're taking the 3 to 5 things every day that you need to be doing, and you're blocking them out throughout the week. That's the way that you're best going to set yourself up for success.
Yeah. So last week I made a promise to myself, like, sometimes we are less productive, like when we pick up our phone so many times. So like there's strategy on like putting the phone away for like an hour and a half when you first get into the office. But last week I decided that unless it was like something that was going to add like some sort of like education or knowledge, like I would not turn the TV on until at least 5:30 during the day, unless I was like watching like a Gary V vlog or like working out like via the Peloton app or whatever. Like if it wasn't adding some sort of like value,
it's not television. You're using the TV for something, but you're not watching television.
Exactly. So that was like super helpful in regard to like productivity last week.
Good. That's my soapbox for the week in essence. But before we go, like everybody, do me a favor and share with me something that you're planning on doing this week that you want to be held accountable for.
I can start, because something that I really want to do is take the time right now with all of like the Compass tools, because I mean obviously Compass has been really, really good about making this transition as easy as possible for all of us realtors. And so all of the different like live streams that they have going on, and just like, you know, I feel like they've really kind of doubled down on, you know, here, like, let us help you really, really learn the product during this downtime as well. So I really want to take advantage of all of that. And, you know, watch the tutorials and stuff like that on really how I can be capitalizing and utilizing all of the programs that we have available to us through all the different, you know, Compass platforms.
Good.
So
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Compass we were one of the first brokerages. They opened up the academy to like anybody, to like the public, to all other agents. And that was more so, I think that's obviously not necessarily the internal how to use product, the search feature, but it's more so like overview of like how to structure your business and how to farm and stuff like that. But I thought that was really cool. If you go to the academy, which is on the little black dot on your Google thing, there's tons of videos that are actually open to like the public now, but then there's internal ones too that are more like how to use the email feature or something like that.
Right.
Awesome. Amanda, I got it. I'm writing these down, by the way, because I'm going to put it out into our group email so that we can all hold each other accountable this week for what it is that we want to do. The one thing that we want to do. Kim, what about you?
So last week I sent out an email using a story. So I want to do that again by practicing storytelling sometime this week, or like put out content with another story this week.
Can you forward me the email that you sent?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I want to see it. I bet it was good. I just want to read it. Jack.
Sort of piggybacking off what Amanda was saying, I'd really like to kind of take a deeper dive into what Compass is sort of offering to agents right now, just because, I mean, apart from my onboarding, I haven't really been in on their, you know, virtual trainings or anything. I'm all the time in Marketplace, and or not Marketplace, but creating projects and like postcards and those sorts of things, because I'm like, I really enjoy that sort of stuff and creative things like that. So I'd kind of like to figure out my next project for either creating a video or a series of Instagram photo posts, or maybe I'm going to start, you know, email, like a structured email thing that I start doing, but sort of a next project that I can tune into, and then like focus on doing the physical part as well, whether that's, you know, flying my drone over PB while the beaches are empty, or something that I can do with my camera, because I'm going a little stir crazy as far as not being able to like create and stuff. But I got this new cool light that's wireless.
Looks like a lightsaber.
I know, that's what I was gonna say.
Isn't this insane? And it changes every color. So I'm like hoping
cool.
to. It's great for like videos of walking through houses and stuff like that. So, but I want to like do something. You know what I mean? Like creatively, that I can share.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting that onto your list then.
We can narrow it down, but something like that.
No. Well, you made the mistake of saying 3 things, so now you got it. Now we're gonna hold you responsible for 3 things. Jaqueline, what about you?
She's on mute.
Oh, shit.
I think she's on mute. Yeah, she's on mute still.
Yeah, hold on. All right.
She's off timeout.
Hold on, Jaqueline. I can't figure this out. Jaqueline, I think you muted yourself. I can't unmute you, Jaqueline.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Figured it out.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess like probably create a video out of Compass content. I really like their digest, and I typically use it to. I've been doing it every week, like emailing my spheres.
Yeah.
But I would like to do like a video and creating some kind of content, whether that's like the market update, like you said, not sounding salesy, because I do have people asking me questions about like, what do you think it's going to look like? Or, do you think prices are going to come down and things like that? And,
Yeah. I mean, I think with that first week, we were really, like I said, like we pretty much scrapped our market updates for March because I felt like it was going to come off as very tone deaf.
Yeah.
Like, actually, the numbers are just fine and blah, 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 because we were still using numbers from February. They weren't really reflective of our new situation. Well, now on April 6th, we have some numbers from the last couple of weeks of March that we can now share, and it's kind of our duty to share. But so you can do more of like a market update to kind of explain what's going on in the market, because that is our job, is to explain what's going on to people who are interested. So that's good. And I think one thing that, Jaqueline, you could really easily do is that, because you said you love like the daily email and stuff, like from Leonard and or whatever, the digest, you could create a video just with your phone, just literally reading the content digest, or like, you know what I mean? Like, or the did you knows or whatever, and then put that out through BombBomb to your sphere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like just don't reinvent the wheel. You could literally just read it. Put it in your own words, but read what they wrote and just put it out to your sphere.
Yeah, because sometimes I think people don't really necessarily want to read anything that's long. They don't really want to read it. But I think if I like put a video out, it seems more personal.
Yeah, totally.
And so
I agree.
And also kind of like have them, think of me if they're thinking of real estate, I guess.
Well, that goes back to the macro of everything we like preach all the time, right? Is like there's nothing you can do to make someone buy a $750,000 house when they're not ready to buy a $750,000 house.
Yeah.
But what you can do is be present for 3 years, providing valuable and educational information, so that when they're ready to buy a $750,000 house, they think of you before they go to Google and search San Diego real estate agent, or they go to Zillow and hit find me an agent. You know what I mean? So what we do now, this is where it goes back to like the people who disappear now are going to disappear from the business. The people who are present now are going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one thing I just kind of have to do, and kind of get out of my comfort zone and create like a video instead of just like behind it with real estate stuff.
Agree.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job. Jessica.
Okay. I want to be accountable for 3 things this week.
Okay, go.
One is a market update video. One is a curator blast, because I noticed on like our ideas to do like social distancing, there's like so much more content on there that that is like to be posted. And then the third is I want to do so I'm like, my parents actually were the ones who were like, every Tuesday we take out, because they saw on social media the hashtag Tuesday takeout. So I want to do a Tuesday takeout post. And like, being also involved in the service industry, I'm kind of like ashamed that I haven't done that quite yet. Although I have been privately supporting local businesses, I do want to do a Tuesday takeout video this week.
Good. That's good. That's really, really good.
So
I think I've got all three of them: update video, Mark Curator Blast, and Tuesday takeout. Takeout video. Because obviously the takeout videos that I've been doing have gotten a lot of traction, and it's not necessarily, it has nothing to do with necessarily like the self promotion of, hey, look at me, I'm doing this. Like starting from the Buena Forchetta post, no, even Oscars, every time I posted it, I've had 2 or 3 people comment or message and say, oh, I love that place, I'm gonna go tomorrow now because of this video. Like
with the pizza thing that I did.
What's that?
It was the same thing with the Isola pizza video that I did.
Yeah, and people went after that. Like I saw like Lance Gross, like someone posted at Buena Forchetta, like he actually went the next day and picked up a family pack, a $40 family pack for lunch or something like that, and he posted it on his Instagram. You know what I mean? Like that's literally the point of doing stuff like this.
Totally.
We can go support by going to the small businesses. Of course, I've gone to probably 3 or 4 more that I didn't post a video for. Whatever, one of them, the video didn't come out or something like that. Obviously, go support the local small businesses, but obviously using our platform to share with other people is the point, because then other people will see and go to that place, which is obviously the entire point of what we're doing, you know. Okay, I've got you. Those are your 3: update video, Curator Blast, and Tuesday takeout video. Very good, Josh. I like it. And then mine is to do 25 video CMAs this week, because I didn't do my video CMAs for March. And so I have a list of about 100 seller clients that I typically send out video CMAs for. And my goal is to do 25 video CMAs this week, at least, to make sure that, so for the month of April, if I do 25 a week, that should take care of my 100 right there. And so basically I'll put these together in the Cassity team email. I'm going to send them out, and then we can keep each other accountable with them, you know, through Instagram DMs, or when I see Jessica post her Tuesday takeout video, obviously we can jump in and we can comment on it, share it, that type of stuff.
Cool.
Good job. Anything else before we go?
Nope. I miss you guys.
We miss you too, Jess.
Miss you too.
I hope everyone's staying well and healthy.
I think so too. What do you guys think about doing a virtual happy hour like on Wednesday at 4 or something?
I have a virtual happy hour already Wednesday at 4.
Hey.
Is that like the default time? Is that everybody just says Wednesday at 4?
I have a girlfriend whose birthday is on Wednesday who I work with over at Dymand. So we're doing one. But maybe let's do Thursday.
Let's do Tuesday.
Okay. Tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Let's figure out. We'll get together on the group meet. We'll figure out a time to do it, and then we'll just we'll actually do a virtual happy hour, but we'll record it and like make it fun and stuff like that.
But we should also like a Cassity team cocktail.
Yeah, I love it. Exactly.
Ooh.
And then we can put it. We can put it as live content on the Cassity team post or something.
Yeah,
we can all share it.
our Cassity team cocktails. Yeah.
I love it. Jet wants to come to the virtual cocktail.
Yeah, we want to see him.
Jet will make an appearance. He's playing with mom. He's playing with mom right now.
He seems like a really happy baby. Roxy always posts him smiling.
Roxy
so
selectively
cute.
posts him smiling, so he's very cute. But he actually is a very happy baby. Like he doesn't. I mean, he cries obviously, but he doesn't like. He's usually only crying for a reason. We can take care of it pretty quickly. He's always pretty happy.
Nice.
Have you guys noticed any other personalities?
Awesome.
What's that, Kim?
Have you guys noticed any other personality traits from him yet?
No. I mean, he screams at us when he's hungry. So he's but so does Roxy. So
he gets that from her. Just kidding.
Yeah, he gets that from Roxy. All right, guys, make it a great week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thanks.
y'all.
Bye.
Stay safe.
See ya.